Could you believe I actually recorded an 8-minute video and I didn't realize that my microphone needed to be reset? Like, it wasn't picking me up. And so I think the laptop was recording my audio so that when I did the playback, it didn't have the soft, sultry voice that I would usually be able to project through my microphone, which I imagine is the issue that happened in my Discord with some of my friends that I either play tabletop gaming with or that I do video gaming with. And to know that my voice quality was really bad, I feel like I just missed out on quality interactions because my voice wasn't projecting clearly into the microphone and the microphone was in a hindered state. Anyways, that aside, I haven't vlogged for a number of months, and there's a reason for that. I was in what I would say a very slow downward slope into depression, and it took a few weeks, maybe over like a month, for it to really kick in. And about 2 weeks ago, I hit the fringe, like this line between being like down to being depressed. And I realized that when I finally hit this I skidded the surface of depression, I finally realized and analyzed and introspected, depression is very distinct from unhappiness. And it's almost like, you know how happy and unhappy can be distinguished based on a level of stimulus that you feel within yourself, based on expectations and so many other factors. But depression is like when you've dealt with something enough, or you experience a level of powerlessness that is so distinct that you just don't want to do it. Or at some point, from not wanting to do a thing, it eventually evolves to not wanting to really do anything in life. And that was so profound that I understood that distinction, I experienced that distinction, that I knew that I had to pull myself out. There were times before where I probably didn't experience depression, even though I classified it as such. And I was always in a level of unhappiness when I hit a certain low of frustration that I just had to take the energy and pull myself out as fast as I can. I was just a numb force of willpower. But depression, that level of drained, disinterest, it was bizarre. But I was aware enough to know that I needed to pull myself back out. Fortunately, I had some caring friends that told me, go take a walk or go do something, and it worked. I recharged. Spent some time back in LA over the weekend at one point. That recharged me. I still prefer not to go into Los Angeles because of the traffic and distance of places. But it helped. But going there helped me get out of that mode of depression. So the lull in me not vlogging wasn't just because of depression. It was also being distracted by work. And work took priority. We were releasing a new version of our mobile apps, and I had to do some extra design stuff. I'm going to have to go back into that again. But this week, I had a level of peace that I haven't had for a while, where I wasn't rushed or worried about work. Now, I know some of you have heard me speak about the other startup that I was supposed to be a part of for a long time now, and it's been almost like 8 months since I was supposed to start that, but haven't because we're still waiting on funding. And things were supposed to happen, things didn't. The universe has its own way of doing things. But for me to move on and for me to accept certain levels of truth, I have to hit a certain level of lows. Like, it has to hit me emotionally, spiritually, mentally, sometimes even physically, before I hit this threshold and my willpower mode, my Hulk mode just goes out and just starts shooting for where I feel I need to go. So this week, I had the peace of mind to finally just devote my time to painting some of my Warhammer miniatures further. And I did some of my, so far, really fun, great work on my Chimera and my Mega Gargant. I'll probably show them at some point. Maybe even in a picture across this video. But ultimately, exercising my creativity in that format gave me a peace of mind that I haven't had in a while. And I reinforced my own happiness, like my own self-sustaining happiness. And again, this is another exercise of my willpower and understanding myself. And even if I go back, even if I regress into thinking that I need to rely on a startup, that I need just one more extra job or work experience in order to do my own thing, this week has helped me realize I really need to work on my own stuff. That I really need to embrace this forecast, this prediction that I've had from so many different psychics of so many different walks of life, and from what people have seen from me who aren't even psychic for the longest of time now. I really need to focus on building up my own stuff and build up that approach of having people help me do my thing. And what is that thing, you might wonder? Well, I am working on this long-time project that I've wanted to do for a while now regarding multi-level marketing, and really analyzing them and showing what they are, what they can be good for, and how they're predatory, all that stuff. And I have like 12 points. I've only researched one so far. I watched like a 2-hour interview discussion. I took a whole bunch of notes on that, but I have like 11 more that I need to cover to build and create graphics off of, assemble the video. It's going to be a few video series. And then there's some other parts that I need to do. So there is a level of insight and thought that I realize doesn't always get emphasized out there in the YouTube sphere of content. And even though the algorithm on YouTube should feed me that stuff, I don't see some of the topics that I care about emphasized enough. And I want to build up or contribute to that content stream so that it really reaches out to people. For example, my topic on the toolbox fallacy. One person commented on there, and I think it's the only comment on that video, that topic was very meaningful to them, and it really impacted and helped them realize things even though they felt it was a little too late. If I can reach out to people in that way with my work and my message, then hopefully I'll help people become more and more accountable and helpful to themselves. Because I know that with all these thoughts that I have and analysis, not every one of my friends would care to listen to it. And it's a hard truth to come by. But I don't want to feel like all these thoughts, these analysis I have are not worth it, that they shouldn't be discussed. And I feel like some people will benefit from it in various parts and times of their life. So that's my endeavor. That's what I need to do. Whether or not the startup happens, I need to do that because things need to move forward some way, somehow. And I had to put myself in the mindset of other people who are content creators. And I'm sure they have similar struggles or epiphanies, or they just don't really think about it. It's just an inspiration or force of will. I want to be able to pass the baton. I want to be able to contribute to a society where you do things by paying things forward. And I don't want to contribute to a society that feels like you need to, when you contribute to help or do whatever for someone, that they need to repay it. Because I really don't like that mode of tradition in terms of compassion, because all that does is it creates a mechanism of manipulation and control and sometimes disrespect, because it's not improving outward. It's only improving within the small space of like generosity in itself. Like that's a closed loop. You don't really improve society. All you're doing is, I don't want to have to deal with your compassion, even though I appreciate it. Here's something back in return. Like that needs to end. For me personally, my experience, that mode of compassion needs to stop. You need to be able to pass that baton forward, improve the society around you by increased compassion on a massive scale. Not just, here's a level of compassion, I need to give it back to you, that's it, I don't want to deal with it. No, like even if that's not your intent of dismissal, that systemically is what's happening. It's closing that loop from further generosity because you feel, I don't know if you feel victimized. by society in the end. Either way, that requires its own expansion of thought and analysis. I'll probably do a video of that in my main channel. But for now, I really wanted to touch base with everyone. I'm not going to promise I'll do another vlog soon because I've broken that promise a whole number of times. But I want to share where I'm at, where my thoughts are at, and what I really need to hold myself accountable for in terms of going back into like my main channel with those videos and really create the impact that I want to commit to the world. I'll catch everyone later. I hope you're all well, and thanks for watching. I'm very grateful that you've come this far in the video, and if there's one last thing I'd like to ask of you is to hit that like button, and if you'd like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.